the mystery of the ancient city of Atlantis has been a subject of fascination for centuries. The legend of Atlantis is a story of a great civilization that flourished and then disappeared in a single day and night. The story of Atlantis was first told by the Greek philosopher Plato in his dialogues Timaeus and Critias. According to the legend, Atlantis was a city-state that existed around 11,000 years ago. It was said to be a great naval power that controlled much of the Atlantic Ocean. The people of Atlantis were said to be incredibly advanced and had technology that was far beyond anything that existed at the time. But despite their power and wealth, the people of Atlantis were said to have become arrogant and hubristic. They began to conquer other nations and grew increasingly corrupt. According to the legend, the gods were angered by their arrogance and decided to punish them by sending a series of cataclysmic events that caused the city to sink into the ocean in a single day and night. While the story of Atlantis may seem like a myth, there is actually some evidence that suggests that it may have been a real place. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, a number of scholars and archaeologists began to search for evidence of Atlantis. One of the most famous of these scholars was Ignatius Donnelly, who wrote a book called Atlantis, the Antediluvian World, in 1882. Donnelly argued that Atlantis was a real place and that it had been destroyed by a great flood that occurred around 9000 BC. He pointed to a number of similarities between different cultures around the world that he believed were evidence of a common Atlantean origin. Other scholars have argued that Atlantis may have been located in the Mediterranean or even in the Americas. There have been a number of archaeological discoveries that have been interpreted as evidence of an ancient civilization that may have been related to the Atlanteans. Despite all of this evidence, however, the mystery of Atlantis remains unsolved. The legend of Atlantis continues to captivate people all over the world and has inspired countless works of literature, art, and film. One of the reasons that the story of Atlantis is so compelling is that it taps into a deep human desire for mystery and adventure. The idea of a lost civilization that was far more advanced than our own is a powerful one, and it is a story that continues to inspire our imaginations. But perhaps the greatest mystery of Atlantis is not whether or not it was a real place, but why the story has endured for so long. Why do we continue to be fascinated by this ancient legend, despite the lack of concrete evidence? Perhaps the answer lies in the fact that the story of Atlantis speaks to something deep within us. It is a story of hubris and downfall, of the dangers of unchecked power and the importance of humility and respect for the natural world. It is a story of mystery and adventure, of the search for hidden treasures and the quest for knowledge. Whatever the reason, the mystery of Atlantis is one that will continue to fascinate us for generations to come. Whether it was a real place or simply a myth, the legend of Atlantis remains a powerful symbol of human curiosity, creativity, and imagination.